Batu Caves is one of the most famous Hindu temples outside of India. And this is a multicultural, multi-religious Malaysia where we have such a beautiful cave. And you can see here, there are 272 steps all the way to the top. And there are 3 caves here. There is the temple cave, the dark cave, and the gallery cave. Now we're gonna walk all the way up to 272 flights of stairs. And some of my friends said to me that it might be a good idea if I do this, but we won't mention their names. In any case, the whole reason, one of the reasons that the Hindus believe that you should have these stairs is because it's an act of penance. It's an act of having pain to purify your bad deeds so that you can get closer to God. So walking all the way up is an act of penance. It's also an act of worship. And you can see that the locals here, they actually walk up barefoot to show total respect. So we're gonna have penance here, you know, and I'm gonna walk up all these steps. And they're not as steep as they look, they're steeper. And they're not slippery at all. They're quite well made, firm and strong, but I'm not gonna walk up hands-free. I'm gonna walk up holding the railing, all right? So here we go. We're gonna walk up here, 272 flights of stairs of penance, worship, and respect. And you know, I mean, on the sideline, a lot of people actually come here to do exercise. Guess what? On second thought, I've decided not to walk up the stairs. If you guys can take a look. I think I'm gonna go down because I'm starting to feel out of breath and I can't tell you my story that I wanted to share. Today, we're at a very special spot. It's a very holy spot. It's a very blessed area. And it is in the limestone hills. And it's in Gombak district, which is 13 kilometers north of Kuala Lumpur. And the limestone caves behind me are 400 million years old. The caves are made of pure limestone, which is kind of soft, so it's easy to carve, but at the same time, it stays very strong. The cave is 400 meters long and about 100 meters high approximately. The caves were installed in 1980 by Mr. K. Tambusami Pillai, and it's promoted as a place of worship and a temple dedicated to the Hindu god Lord Murugan, which is the holy youngest son of Shiva and Parvati. And the statue is 140 feet tall, and it took 3 years to construct, and it was unveiled January 29, 2006. 800,000 devotees will visit during this special Hindu ceremony of Thaipusam yearly. It is on the 10th month of the Tamil Hindu calendar, where people come here to do penance, they come here to do prayers, they come here to worship, they come here to make offerings. Besides being one of the holiest Hindu temples in the Southeast Asian region, it is also a huge place where tourists come to visit. And Hindu temples are very beautiful and very nice because Hindus are very open. They're very open, they're very easy, and they're very accepting. Anyone of any faith, of any religion, of any background, whether you believe or not, can visit this beautiful place. And as I'm walking, you can see how incredible this statue is, incredible the whole scene is. And you know, right nearby, you have beautiful, clean vegetarian restaurants, which are open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. So after you do your worship, you can actually go and enjoy traditional South Indian vegetarian food. And nearby, they also sell beautiful, beautiful flowers to offer inside the temple. As I said, anyone can go inside the temple, anyone can visit anytime as you like. And it's open every single day until 8:30 p.m., meaning the main gates close at 8:30 p.m. Then you can't go up, but the outer area is open still. The gate that goes out onto the highway is closed at 9:30 p.m. Lord Murugan, as I mentioned earlier, is the youngest divine son of Shiva and Parvati. And he represents the manifestation of beauty, youth, masculinity, valor, and vitality. So being that he is the son of a supreme being, they believe that worshiping him, you worship all the supreme beings or God through him. So it's not just a multitude of gods, but it's a representation of something divine and holy in the form of Murugan. That is what I understood. If I'd made any mistakes, I do apologize. Now, I thought I'd introduce you to one of the beautiful tourist areas of Kuala Lumpur, and Gombak is just 13 kilometers away. It's quite easy to find, it's very famous. Now I wanted to tell you about my paranormal story of the evening. So this is where I'm going to tell you my paranormal story. And tonight to join me is my good friend and student of many, many years. And her name is Dr. Ruby, and she has been running the Kichara Soup Kitchen, which is one of the 14 departments of Kichara House. She, within this department, are in charge, basically handling 1,800 packets of food per week to the homeless, where Dr. Ruby has dedicated her mind, her spirit, and her soul to benefiting others within our center, within Kichara House. And I want to introduce you to her, Dr. Ruby. Welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask her a few questions because she is a local and I'm not, and that would be easier to answer. And I would like all my friends to take note, because in the future, if you visit, you'll be able to have some useful information. Now, where our center is, Kichara House, which is in Petaling Jaya, which is one of the suburbs here, how long do you think it would take to get over here if someone was to visit Kichara House and then come here?
Oh, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes because it's a highway all the way here. You only need to pay one toll, which is only 1 ringgit, and you'll be here.
Well, that sounds very enticing, doesn't it? Now let's get back to why we're here. We're here to tell about stories. And Dr. Ruby, do you like ghost stories, paranormal stories, UFO stories, strange monsters that lurk in the deep, that hang out in the forest, and some in Kichara? Do you like those type of stories?
Definitely.
What's your favorite type of paranormal, you would say?
UFOs?
Do you believe in UFOs?
I do, because I've seen a lot of documentaries on it, and it is real.
You don't strike me as a type of person that actually watches documentaries on UFOs, but caught me off guard. So, have you ever seen a UFO?
I've not been that lucky.
Have you ever seen any aliens? Not in Kichara House.
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. Well, I'm going to tell you about a story, and Dr. Ruby likes stories, and I'm sure she's never heard this one, about an experience I had. Many years back, I had visited Seremban. And Seremban is a sleepy, nice, mediocre-sized town with very nice people, very hot. Well, I had a paranormal experience there. And when I was staying there, I was there for about a month. And I was giving some lectures and some talks and sharing with some friends. And what happened was, one day, one of my friends told me that there was a nun, a Mahayana nun, that wanted to see me. And I said, okay, that was kind of an unusual request. So when she came, I noticed the nun was in her 30s, looked all right, except she had very big eye bags. And she looked very tired, and she looked very not rested. And that took me off guard, because I thought, well, she must be working really hard, and I felt a little guilty because I don't work as hard as she does. But she looked very, very tired and maybe borderline sick to me. So when she sat down, she had told me that in her residence where she was staying, she's not able to sleep. And every single night, something in her room would open the door and then close the door, and open the door and then close the door. And this would go on the whole night. And I asked her, how long has it been? And she said about 5 months now. And she said that she has done, that's a sign from Seremban. But right on cue, actually, we didn't plan this, okay? It just happened. Can everybody still see me out there? Okay, I'm sure you can see me. Good. So anyways, what happened was really weird, because she couldn't sleep. And somebody kept opening the door and closing it, and she called many, many people to do rituals. And she had done rituals, and it just wouldn't stop. And it got worse because she would feel a presence inside her room touching her. Not in any rude way, but just stroking her and touching her. And she turned on the lights, there'd be nobody there. Nothing to see. So during the whole time, she didn't see anything, but she felt someone was in the room, and she physically saw the door closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, opening every single night. how to take care of this, and she was kind of desperate, and she was kind of at wit's end. So she asked me how. So the Tibetans have this thing called divination, where you can use dice to determine what is happening in the paranormal. But using the dice, you need to have some training. You need to engage in some meditational retreats, and you need to basically keep one of the meditational deities very close to you. For example, Manjushri. So I did dice divination for her, and it was detected that there is a male spirit there that's not there to harm her, but is disturbing her. So divination also came out that she needs to do a particular meditation related to the female Buddha, Ekazati. So I explained to her, she needs to do this puja, and she needs to do this practice, and she needs to do this amount of mantras, and is she willing? And she was more than willing. So what happened was we prepared, and I confer one particular rite. It's called the Ekazati initiation, or an initiation of Ekazati. And when that initiation was given to her, it took about 3 hours. She went back. When she went back, she engaged in the meditation, and she told me within 1.5 to 2 weeks, all the disturbances completely stopped. The doors stopped moving. Nobody was in her room. Nobody was there. Nothing. Nothing at all. And for the first time in many months, she was actually able to sleep. She can actually sleep, and she came back to thank me. And she didn't look much better, because months of sleep cannot be caught up in just a week or two. But she did look much better, and I asked her, is anyone touching you now? Is the doors opening and closing anymore? And she said no. And I wanted to share this story is because this really happened firsthand with somebody I know, and I was directly involved. And I'm not trying to say that I'm a ghostbuster or that I'm some kind of powerful magician, because I'm not. I'm just like you and everybody else. But this really happened to this person, and she was a nun. And she was in fact so happy, she asked me to come to her center to give a lecture, which I did. I gave a lecture over there and spoke, and everybody was very happy. Do you have any questions?
Yes, besides, the movements, did her furniture move, or, what else actually happened? Did she describe more to you?
I remember her telling me that only the door moved, and the incredible thing was, and I'm glad you brought that up, she even locked the door. She even put things, I remember now that you asked me, and I'm glad you did, she even put chairs in front of the door, but it would still open. Can you imagine that? In your room, alone at night, in a shop lot, nobody around, you're a woman, you're a lady, you're just a normal human being, and in front of you, next to your bed, you see the door open and close. And some people can say, well, it's wind, maybe the balance of the walls are a little off, maybe there's vibrations from a nearby lorry or truck. But look, she also put chairs in front. She also locked the door. How does the door unlock itself? How does the chair get pushed where the door opens? But anything else in the room, to answer your question, no. Nothing else was touched.
And did it happen at a specific time every night? Because, those days when we read ghost stories, they always say that, ghost only appears after 12. Our parents used to tell us, you must come back, before 12 o'clock, because after that the ghost will be all over.
Well, let me think. Your questions are making me think. She did mention, curiously enough, after midnight. After midnight, and before what time, like 3, 4 a.m., I don't recall, but it was very late in the night. And she said every single night it happened to her. All right?
And this didn't happen like during our Chinese 7th month, where all the ghosts are all over.
Well, the Chinese 7th month is interesting. That's where the Chinese believe that all the spirits from hell not as in hell as in purgatory hell in a Western Christian Judeo sense of hell. It's more of a hell where people go to after they died, where they're released on the 7th lunar month, where people come out to receive some respite and some incense and some food and some offerings. No, it happened every day, every single month, and all the time. Did you Would you be scared if you were in that situation, or you would just ignore it?
No, I think I'll be really scared. But, she's really lucky to have found you.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't attribute it to myself, but I would definitely attribute to this Buddha called Ekazati, who has one face, is dark smoke colored, with 3 eyes, holding implements of protection, and sitting in a position that she's ready to get up and help anytime. And I would attribute it 100% to that. Well, I wanted to thank Dr. Ruby for visiting us this week in front of beautiful Lord Murugan in the Batu Caves, not so far away from Kuala Lumpur, and in Dr. Ruby's own words, 45 minutes. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I wish you all good night. Good night, Dr. Ruby.